F's, friends, family, and fools, raising money from those who really believe in you, those who really see your passion and see the idea, and you as a founder are supposed to be able to actually share that idea. So in our case, it took us 7 months to reach that. And it's not just 7 months of knocking on doors. It's 7 months of knocking on doors, running your business, finding users, finding customers, and also telling these investors that already shut the door on you that, hey, you thought we couldn't get a customer? I've gotten 3 so far. Are you willing to talk again? And it took so much more of building relationships, updating even those who weren't interested initially, to actually get 3 angel investors on board to raise our first round back in I think we closed the round in end of 2016, but it took another 3 or 4 months before the money actually came in. And from then on, our goal was to try to run as sustainability as possible, try to become revenue generating, not profitable, but at least a break even, and run the business in that manner for as long as we could. And in 2019, we actually reached the point where we had achieved nationwide operability. We had users and clients from all over Malaysia, and we wanted to expand regionally. And we had the funds to do that internally, and that was all because of the team and everybody working hard to close deals, service clients as best as possible. But sadly, COVID-19 hit us, and we used those funds to basically, we had to go into survival mode, and we had to learn a lot of things. We had to expand our business. We had to operate in areas that we didn't have experience in. And we also went into an accelerator program to get mentorship, to get advice from high net worth individuals, from those founders that have done it before me. And through that accelerator, we got introduced to an investor from Singapore, a VC firm in Singapore, that actually invested in us in our second round. That happened mid 2021. That really actually helped us innovate the business, become more pandemic resilient, and at the same time gave us the wings to fly through pandemic. And today, I wouldn't say we are still out of the storm yet, but we are still surviving, and we are still looking at ways to grow. At the same time, grow sustainably by generating our own revenue. So our last round with our VC was, I would say, our seed round, and also and it's very different. Another thing I would like to share is when you're looking at fundraising, do know who you are talking to. Is it an angel investor? Is it a corporate investor? Is it a VC? The value that each kind of investor brings is totally different, and the pitch that you share, or what matters to the angel investor versus the VC versus the corporate investor, is also very unique. And you as a business person, even if you're at the infancy stage of your startup idea, need to understand the value that your company is going to bring, and the difference it's going to make to that who the customer is, or who the partner that you want to bring on board is, right? I think for now, yeah, I would just summarize it as that, and let's keep the flow moving. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Dhanish. It's quite fascinating to hear your expansion in Malaysia and nearby countries. All right. I request Inaz the next question. Could you tell us about how both Jobsicle and Kalori earns revenue, and how it started?
Thank you very much. I actually missed to introduce myself with Kalori as a restaurant. So I got an opportunity to open a tourism outlet in Crossroad, Maldives, which was actually a very complicated process for me, because it's the first time I started to go through the whole phase. Now, with regards to Jobsicle and Kalori, Jobsicle obviously is an very related setup. So it's more like, it runs by itself. So it doesn't really need, apart from the initial setup of application and stage where, the founder, Mr. Sama, actually invested a lot of money. And we actually kind of started spreading the word. So I would focus more on my story to Kalodi, because raising such a huge fund to create the building and concept and bring in the people and making a reality was a very, very tough subject. So um, first thing is, what I actually, when I decided I will actually step out from my regular job and work on my own company, I started working on myself, because to me, raising capital obviously needs a huge transformation of our personality, which means branding ourselves, developing interpersonal skills, which is such an important thing, especially in our community, that we need to have good connections with good people that will actually help us. And I also believed in sharing ideas. I mean, a lot of people say that do not share your ideas to people or next move to people, which in a way is actually true. But to me, when I kind of do a trial and error, when I share the ideas, a lot of people add value to my conversations, and sometimes they will say, no, this is not going to work, and this is going to work, and how it's going to work. So when I got this chance to get a contract for leasing out a space in Crossroad, the first thing, it didn't come to my mind how much money it's going to cost. The first thing was what I'm going to do there, what will be the difference, what value am I going to add to that establishment, how I can differentiate myself. That was the first thing I was looking into. So in terms of raising fund, I think it's important for anyone, especially the people who are listening to our platform here. We need to build a strong foundation where we must be able to know how much exactly we are looking into. I did a lot of mistake in the whole process. Even coming from a finance background and business management background, I did a lot of mistakes in that, because I was so optimistic, and we get excited. We get excited, we start talking about it. We get very happy with it, but we do not look into the dark side of the whole setup and what could have happened or what could happen, and where should we, get the support from. So I think it's important to look into those areas and looking into the numbers to understand what exactly we are talking about, how far this will lead us to. And I think Danish in his conversation very, very clearly highlighted, it's never an easy process. So looking into funds, the first thing I realized is that building up, such a huge space is not my expertise area. So when I talk to angel investors, like, a lot of friends that I used to work with or interact with, some are in construction industry, some are doctors. When I shared ideas there, I kind of found three people who are interested. There was a doctor, very famous doctor, who actually was seriously interested in investing into the idea. But that was not only an idea, because I developed, before going into the um, asking for support, I developed the whole concept in a very realistic manner that people can understand. I even try to get all the data that I can. So I did all the background information and showed them some sort of idea of what we are looking into. So I got this. I think it's also important that sometimes we do get opportunities of different people, but we also need to know where we are borrowing money from, who is lending us the money is also very important. So when I look into the two options that I had at that time, one was a doctor who probably will not be adding value from his expertise to my establishment. The second one was a contractor and construction company director who actually is very experienced in Maldives and many other countries, developing properties and resorts and things like that. So I thought maybe that was what I was looking into, what I was lacking. And if I could get some support from that direction, then I could develop the whole concept and branding and the rest of the things. So to me, that was the journey, and the first thing was obviously through an angel investor, half, I would say 20%, but then the big investment is still there. So I had to approach many institutions. Like what we have in the Maldives is very, very simple: Bank of Maldives, Bank of India, State Bank of Ceylon, and it's very, very limited opportunities. And as Iyaz mentioned very rightfully, there is no platform for us to go and say, okay, you know, this is an idea, or we don't know who we have to meet, especially when it comes to a startup. So I kind of did some appointments, random appointments. Sometimes, you know, through connections, I tried to reach and get an email, and did some random appointment. None of this actually worked, because, you know, for them, hearing about 100 ideas, and every idea is very interesting. When they come and present, they put every effort that they have to make it very attractive. They try their best. So even my idea was something like that. Even when I did so much an effort, it was just another idea. So there was something missing when it comes to the, you know, seriously saying, okay, I'm ready, here's my money, the bank is ready to give. There was something missing, because nobody gave me a positive impression that I will be able to go ahead with this. So then I came back to my office, and I started thinking, who is actually interested in my idea among our community. So when it comes to Kalawadi, the first Maldivian fine dining restaurant in the Maldives. Obviously, there is a fine dining restaurant in a resort, but this is the first one open for the public. That could be something big for the Maldives. So there should be some national-wide interest in this. So then I thought, okay, maybe I will go to Heritage, get their endorsement, get their support. They could actually help me to go through this process. And that's how I actually kind of rebranded again, did the presentation, included a lot of, you know, cultural heritage, designing elements, and the story of Donghyala Alifulu, and, you know, everything I kind of glued to make sure that this is attractive to the heritage. When I presented that to the minister, and when I went, I even took the taste of the kind of food that we are going to serve, like little bits and bites, just to tell them that this is not just a random idea. Look what I have done. I have cooked, I have caps, I have pen, I have branded, I have my shirt with my logo. But I mean, the restaurant was not even open, but I had my uniform already with me when I went and presented. So I went up to that stage to get their support, who actually channel me through. I'm sure with this conversation, we will go more detail later. But that was actually, to me, raising finance, sometimes, as Dhanish stated very rightfully, that it's never an easy process. It's never. Thank you very much.
All right. All right.
Very impressive, very impressive.
Exactly. And to be honest, you know, it was really amazing to see the Kalodi whole concept, because at the time when I saw the concept, from branding to the concept designing, interior, and marketing plan, I mean, everything was ready. When I asked Inaz, is it already open? And he said, no, it's not open. And I was like, oh my God, I mean, how far he has went, you know, without opening it, and everything. It's amazing. I mean, Kalodi, as a Maldivian, I really proud of the whole concept. I have something that I can sell it to out of this country, and talk about, you know, the food and the story of Maldives. So
Let's
it's
ask
really amazing.
for 2 seconds if anyone in our participant have experienced Kalori. If you can, please just say yes or no. Maybe there could be a chance you can get a opportunity to come and see the investment that we have done. Yes, see? The first person is yes. All right.
Very nice, very nice. All right, let's move it to our next topic, getting into the journey of investment and financing, raising initial capital and funding. So I request Iyaz, what are the source of capital, and how do